Hi everyone, welcome. Hope you're having a good day or night. You already know what we're going to talk about, so let's get it started. This is not only for creating an original Gacha mini movie, it's also for Gacha series, Gacha short stories and Gacha movies. I've seen so many Gacha mini movies with the same story, the same plot, the same style. And just watching the beginning of a mini movie, I've already predicted its ending, since it's always the same plot. Don't get me wrong, I know making Gacha content takes a very long time, but you need to keep in mind, originality is the key. And also because copying someone else's content is something to be shamed upon. So don't be going through someone's video and just copying a whole plot, the whole dialogue, the whole script, the whole video. I've seen people do that and believe me, they get caught and get hated on. And it's also very hurtful for the original creator, since they worked so hard just coming up with that content and making it. Just making another video and knowing someone's going to copy it is just unmotivating. So number 1 rule, don't ever copy someone else's content. Now that's out of the way, let's start with the issues I've seen in the Gacha community when making stories. Most Gacha mini movies I've seen so far lack originality and creativity. Not entirely true though. I've seen quite a great amount of original mini movies. And they've been all original and creative. Though compared to the Alpha Gacha mini movies, it isn't that many. Alpha mini movies are just one example of one of the most reused plotlines I've seen. Example, the story is about a girl in an all-alpha school. And then meets the love interest, and then falls in love. A villainous or antagonist shows up and makes everything difficult for them. And blah blah blah, they get married and have 2 to 3 children. Not all alpha mini movies are like that, I'm sure, but a great amount of it is. And looking for an original alpha mini movie is quite hard with a sea of replicas. So it's very rare. So here's some advice on how to make that unoriginal alpha story today. Completely different story. Let's start with the genre these alpha mini movies focus on. It's all romance, isn't it? We kind of lack variety in our Gacha mini movies. It's usually romance that I see. Not mystery, not thriller, not sci-fi or fantasy. Most of it is romance. I'm not saying that there's no other genres. I'm saying that the romance genre is very popular in the Gacha community. And there's no room for other genres. So let's turn this alpha romance mini movie into a mystery story.
See the difference? You can change the generic alpha romance mini movie to a whole different story. You can still add some romance, but don't let it be the main focus or it'll be the same generic alpha story all over again. Now let's talk about the characters. In some alpha mini movies, the characters are usually dull and flat. There's no real motivation as to why they do what they're doing. They have no story behind them, no backstory. And their personalities are kinda crappy. One of the characters I'm going to bring up is the villainess. Most of the time, they just come in and ruin the main character's relationship because they're angry, jealous, or something. It's kind of uninteresting if you don't explain it any further. So, here's advice on how to make your character more interesting and have more depth to them. Ask the question, why? Why are they angry? Why are they jealous? Why do they want to ruin the MC's relationship? So asking yourself that question, you come up with a reason as to why. And now they have a story behind them. Ask yourself this to other characters in your stories, especially the protagonist and the antagonist, since they won't be doing what they're doing right now in your story without any sort of motivation or reason behind it. Now let's talk about the character's voice. You now know your character's story behind them. Now it's time for their voice. This is about the characters again and their dialogue. I've told you that some characters are kind of flat and dull. That's also because they lack their voices that are unique because of their traits and personality. Look at Bakugo here, for example. It's said in the My Hero Academia wiki that Bakugo is a crude, arrogant, short-tempered, and aggressive person. especially at the beginning of the series. So how does that reflect with his dialogue? You can already see, because of how he talks, he reacts, and what he feels right now in this situation. Another example is Kale Henatus, from Trash of the Count's Family. He appears to seem apathetic and cold on the surface, but at heart, he is caring and worldly wise. But his subconscious fears make him seek distance and fewer connections for self-protection. This traits and personality of his has a reason, a backstory behind it, and I'm not going to spoil you. So his voice is very reserved and cold, appearing not to care at all. And since he fears both death and pain and is very smart, he is very careful and clever with his words. So now let's get back to the villainess again, and give her a voice. She's confident, she's inconsiderate, she's insecure of herself, she has trust issues. See how it changes from the generic angry voice that had no reason behind it. Her unique voice makes her seem more alive and relatable to your viewers. She isn't just some random angry girl coming at you just because you got the hot dude as your boyfriend instead of her. She's a whole person herself with a unique personality and traits that have a reason and a backstory behind it. Now this is all I'm going to talk about in this video since it's already getting long. I'll talk about other ways in the next future video. Let's recap. Don't ever copy someone else's content. It doesn't help you or the original creator. And it definitely doesn't help you grow as your own gacha content creator. There are other genres to choose from, so try action, thriller, or other genres if you're comfortable with it. Character backstories. Everyone has a backstory, even you, so try to write a backstory behind your characters. Character voices. Character traits and personality reflects on the character's words, reaction, and dialogue. So use that backstory and give your character traits and personality to make them different and unique. And that's everything. All the things that I talked about are things that I've learned during my time as a beginner writer. Still a beginner writer to this day. And the method that I explained probably doesn't work for everyone. So don't beat yourself up if it doesn't. Hope you have a good day and night, and I'll see you on the next video that I make.